Yo, what's up? This is Brandon. Brandon Moore again. Welcome to More to the Game Sports Show, where literally, man, we're literally just trying to shine a spotlight on today's athletes in the Louisville area, Kentucky area, Indiana, Illinois, just pretty much the Midwest area, and then we're broaden out. But no, thank you all for tuning in. Really great show last week. Got a lot of feedback. I'm jumping right into it, as you see. Got a lot of feedback on the show last week because it was talking about top players out of Kentucky, Indiana, and Illinois. Okay, I listed a few. I wanted to give you just a little bit so you can kind of think about it and then tune in this week. But look, I got just a lot of stuff to cover. A lot of stuff to cover because there's been a lot of sports, football playoffs. NBA is going. Saw some great college games. I'm gonna start talking about college in depth a little bit next on my next show. Right now, today, man, I'm excited around this time of year, especially in Louisville, because we December, that like end of November, December, January timeframe. Kentucky literally is a spotlight of all basketball. And then when it comes to Sweet 16, spotlight of all basketball. You wanna know why? Because we have probably the biggest in season tournaments over the holiday period that there is right now. I mean, literally, you got the king of the bluegrass. I talked about just a little bit last show because I talked about how I seen Saint X play. There were some other great teams that were playing. Great Crossing um, was playing. I mean, Ferdell is the host of it, but they're the home team there. So got to see them. Got to see a team I used to coach with, and for Trinity High School. Got to see a little bit of them. And got to see North Odom play with Rajon Rondo's son starting point guard, and we did discuss him last show. But then you go from literally that tournament, which is huge, right? That tournament primarily is just it's invite only. Teams from all over are invited. If you do get invited, you come showcase. That's King of the Bluegrass. Then you turn around within a couple weeks, you have the Louisville Invitational tournament, which is a huge tournament. And this year, I'm pumped. I'm pumped because I got word this year they're using 35-second shot clock. They are using a shot clock this year. I am super pumped about it because I'm gonna tell you, basketball itself is changing, and I've always, from time I was training to coaching, I've always believed you gotta prep these kids for the level that they want to go to. Period. If you're talking you're a high school guy, I want to go to college and play, you got to start prepping them. Like the AAU team that I own, that I coach, Midwest Park, is like there are times where like I'll put a shot clock up just because sometimes kids need to understand what it's like playing in college. They need to understand, man, that you think you have enough time to just sit there and pat the ball 50 times in one spot and not do anything, to where you're making these passes that literally are not leading to anything. There's a sense of purpose, there's a sense of action that at times players do not have. And I believe adding a shot clock in high school would literally prepare them, because when you do go to college, it is a shock for some. I'm not even gonna say for some, for most it is a shock. It is a shock with how fast the game is, how big the game is, how just incredibly accurate and efficient these players are. And if you're a bigger guy, how much they play above the rim and they stay above the rim. It's all that 35 seconds, man, you think is a lot of time. And in some cases it is, depending on how you coach. Some cases it is, but it also, what it does is it gives these kids a sense of urgency, but a sense of focus, keeps them focused. Every possession means something. Every pass, every screen, every cut, every check down, everything, every box out, every layup, every follow, everything means something. Everything means something, right? So I'm super pumped about it. But anyway, let me backtrack. So here we go. So Again, born and raised out of 502 Newburgh area. Newburgh area called called it my home for the longest before I moved. And I'm gonna tell you, so I got a lot of feedback on top players out of Kentucky, Indiana, and Illinois. And I'm gonna tell you something. Not that I purposely missed some, but I just wanted to. I just wanted to name some just I could think of just immediately off the top of my head. Right, I'm an '80s baby. Right, I'm an '80s baby, and so I had to do some research, and I had some help. So I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go down the list, and then what I want you to think about is this: is as we're talking about the top players of Kentucky, and you're listening to me, hit that subscribe button up in the top. I think it's gonna be in the top this time, maybe the bottom. Maybe hit that subscribe button, and then as you're doing that, man, so you kind of join in on this conversation, join in on this convo because I got an email address I'm gonna give y'all at the end. I wanted some feedback. I want to hear what y'all got to say. But check this out. This is reader. So top players out of Kentucky: Wes Unseld, DA Derek Anderson, with the local kid, went to Dawes High School. His story is phenomenal. If you've never heard his story, please hear his story. Phenomenal, phenomenal. And not only he's got college championship, but he also got NBA championship too. So think about that. You got Rex Chapman, right? Rex Chapman, Dr. Duncanstein, Daryl Griffin, Dwan Wheat, Winston Bennett, Manuel Forrest, Tony Kimbrough. Doesn't get talked about enough. Does not get talked about enough. Tony Kimbrough. Keep that in mind. Felton Spencer. And I'm just naming a few. Now we talked about Rajon Rondo. Talk about Allen Houston, right? So I'm just naming a few there. Just so you can think about that. I'm gonna give you one. Another local kid. And I consider him a top player just because I knew him back in high school, and he was a walk on at U of L, earned his scholarship, went overseas, became great. Larry O'Bannon. Larry O'Bannon. Shout out to Larry O'Bannon as well. I'm trying to get him to be a guest on the show. Try to get him to be a guest on the show. Shout out to Larry O'Bannon. But I'm telling you, so those are just some top players out of Kentucky. And you're talking these players really, really help shape not the state and in the Louisville area. So very pumped about that. So top players. Now, if there's more, please tell me. Tell me. If there's more, tell me that I missed. Tell me. Now, top players out of Indiana. Obviously, Larry Bird. Can't go wrong Larry Bird. But I'm gonna tell you something. Sean Kemp, Zach Randolph, Glenn Robinson, Eric Gordon. You got Big O, Oscar Robertson. I mean, it gets no like the top of that right there is amazing, right? And then you got the Teagues, right? You got the Teagues, and I mean you just have these. That's just Indiana, and that's a few, and I'm pretty sure I missed some. And Michigan State's former player plays with Memphis Griffin, Jared Jackson. I believe that's his name, Jared Jackson. Played at Michigan State, and I think he was with the Memphis Grizzlies. So again, more great players. Now, talk about Illinois. Only have a few. Sorry about that. Only got a few. I got to do some more research. Isaiah Thomas, Zeke, the man, right? D Rose, Derrick Rose, KG, Kevin Garnett, Anthony Davis, Michael Finley. We haven't heard that name in a long time, and Tim Hardaway. Think about that. So the Midwest. I mean, you're talking players that have captivated just basketball, period, and just in the Midwest. And as well as I know, there's plenty more where that come from. Plenty more.